This is a Rogue Media Network production.
Welcome to the show. It is always a delight to get to talk about an event in Central Texas that is going to bring people together in really the best way with music and creativity and community. And there is a big event coming up in Waco, the Rogue Media Network Block Party, all about showcasing local talent and creating a space where the community can connect and celebrate. So joining me is Cory Dickman, who's the owner of Rogue Media Network. Wonderful to have you back in studio.
Thank you, Ann.
I mean, you're around here a lot.
I know. I'm usually on the other side of the wall.
Well,
but,
we have to say, may the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. And Ann, today is also Mike Hamilton's birthday. Today. May 4th. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mike. Well, I hoped he was going to be able to join us.
I know. That's okay.
He had other things he had to do, I guess, to celebrate his birthday.
Very busy birthday boy today.
But it's good that we're talking about this today because this is coming up on Saturday the 9th.
Yes,
so coming up, Mother's Day weekend. And this is going to be outside Southern Roots Brewery, correct? That is 219 North 8th Street.
Yes.
So when does it all get underway? And it's kind of a battle of the bands, right?
Yeah, battle of the bands. So there'll be a lot of vendors there. So they kick it off around 10 a.m. So you can show up, partake of people selling things. There'll be extra food, things like that outside. We do a car show. So that'll be on the block as well. So there'll be a lot of things, for all ages. Then we'll kick off Battle of the Bands around noon. So get you a chance to get some lunch, sit down, enjoy all the bands playing. So they'll kind of go in order, and then they'll score them and rank them. And then at the end, there'll be a winner. They get some cash prize money. And,
okay, so you have judges, or is this audience favorites, or do you do it both ways?
There's judges, there's judges. So, the audience definitely can play a role in it too. There's they'll hand out cards and you can rank them for who you think was best to not as best. But then, there are judges there that determine the winner.
So how many of these have you done?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ann. So this is our 3rd block party.
Okay.
However, before that, we had a thing called RogueCon, and I don't know if you had participated in that or not.
No, I don't think I did that. But...
We did 2 years of RogueCon. And then when we got into our 3rd year, we were just thinking, well, how do we make this more simplistic, but also a bigger reach at the same time, which was kind of funky. And Kaylin and Dustin, owners of Southern Root, had us over there at the brewery for RogueCon. And then we just got to talking, hey, what if we just did something bigger for the block? And, Waco Escape Rooms is also on the part of the block there. So I've known Dustin and Kaylin for a long time. So that we just turned it into Waco Block Party. And I think it's been a much, much bigger success for sure.
So are you blocking off some of the streets? Have you gotten permission to do that? Yeah,
we got permission.
Good.
Yeah, you have to pay the city for it. But that 8th Street going up to Columbus. So Southern Roots is in between Washington and Columbus. So 8th Street will be blocked off. That's where all the vendors will be.
Yeah.
And then the stage will be positioned basically at the corner of Columbus and 8th Street. And that's where all the performers will do theirs.
So is there an admission charge to get in?
It's free to come. So no admission. Just bring yourself, bring your family, hang out. Again, it turns into a nice all-day deal.
But it's family friendly.
Family friendly. Oh, yeah. All the, and it's all bands, all different kinds of genres. So this isn't like one type of, rock band or country band. It's 8.
Yeah, it's a variety of
thing.
Yeah. Pets. Okay.
Yeah, people brought their dogs. Okay. We were gonna do like a pet adoption at one point. We were gonna tinker around with that. I think the car show just ended up being a really good complement to what we do. So that's when we did that. But.
So the car show, is that a particular kind of car like Stingrays, or is it everything?
It's most of your classic cars and things like that. Yeah. So there might be a Stingray there, maybe a Camaro, a Corvette, things like that.
Yeah.
So they'll set up basically across the street from Southern Roots. But all the action really takes place on 8th Street in Southern Roots as well. So you can go in, you can get a drink, they'll have their pizzas, a lot of their games and things like that going on there. And then actually Friday night, so we have a little lead up into the block party, and there'll be celebrity bingo. So we'll have some Waco celebrities will come and do bingo there. And then all the proceeds go to charity, which will be Warriors Canvas.
That's good.
Veteran-led nonprofit that we're going to be supporting.
That's a wonderful effort as well. So the bands that will be, how did you find them?
Yeah, great question.
Any that kind of rise to the top?
So it's an application process.
Okay.
So there's they go online, they can submit. There's a few questions they have to answer. Send us a demo, things like that. And then our group with Southern Roots and some others will pick kind of here's the top 8 that get into Battle of the Bands and then get to perform there. And so in the past, we've had some of our past winners not be a part of the battle, but to come and support. And they may play a song or two just kind of while bands are changing over and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. It gives up and coming artists really a chance to perform in front of a live audience on a big stage with a chance to win some money.
So tell me about that.
Little prize money.
What are the prize?
I want to say, and now I'm going to be held to it. I think it's $1,000. I think $1,000.
What to win?
To the winning band? Maybe somewhere in there. Kaylin, I'm sorry. I got to. Now you got to do 1,000. No, but definitely some prize money there for the.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. And as you say, just the opportunity to perform, is a good thing for them. So how do you, when folks walk away, what do you want them to leave feeling like?
Oh, for sure. I think, there's a lot of, and this, Ann, and a lot of people have come on the show. There's a lot of events happening really in the summertime as well. But I want this one to be something where everyone feels like they can come out. There's a little something for all members of the family. It truly, when I think of a block party, I think of something that is inclusive. I think of something that, gives you a break from the normal rut of life and all that stuff. And you come out and enjoy some food, enjoy some music. So I want people to leave wanting to be like, okay, when's the next one?
That's right.
Yeah, when's the next one for sure. And then enjoy your mother the next day.
I think, or bring her.
Totally.
I mean, people are like, what should we do this weekend? Well, let's take mom to the block party.
Mom wants to go to the block party.
She might very well want to because let's talk about the vendors.
Yes.
So what kind of vendors are you going to have?
Yeah, so we try to have it be like all handmade goods for the most part. Artists, and different people. It becomes a draw. That's the thing that gets filled up the fastest, ironically, is the vendor market. A lot of foot traffic. And so we'll get people messaging us, 6 months before the block party about, hey, can I get a spot?
Yeah.
How do I get a spot?
You have some repeats, I guess.
Yeah, there's definitely some repeats and then some new folks. We try to cycle some people in there. We've had in the past, there's been more food trucks. We've probably limited it more this year to select few food trucks that kind of balance out, what Southern Roots is serving with their pizza and things like that. But yeah, the vendor part is I think the vendor and the car show, those two aspects alone would be worth it to come out for a couple hours to check it out. And then the music's just the cherry on top. So.
Yeah, great fun. I guess there's going to be room for people to dance if they want to dance.
Oh, yeah, people dance. This was actually where my son, this might have been last year or 2 years ago when he finally started to walk. But we had this little alligator cart. It has little alligators on it. And so he was just pushing it around the block party and just hitting people. But he had enough space to maneuver. So it was good.
Having a big time.
Having a big time. Yes.
Okay, well, I've got you. Got just a few minutes left.
Yeah.
Take us back. What inspired you to start Rogue Media Network?
Yeah. Oh, geez, Ann. Hey, you're throwing the curveballs here. So Rogue Media, it was in a time where, and I've definitely taken a step back from a lot of ventures. Right there, I felt like every month I was starting something new.
You are an entrepreneur par excellence.
For sure. It was something. And so had met Mike Hamilton, and there was something about a podcast network. I was a big consumer of this network called The Ringer podcast network, a lot of sports, a lot of pop culture. And, there was a podcast I was on called the Wacoans podcast, which is no longer an active podcast, but I was a guest and I did the interview. And I just was like, oh, this was great. And I mean, I could sit here and talk to you for 4 hours. I loved the medium. And I was like, hey, instead of just doing the Wacoans podcast, what if you had a whole network of podcasts? And then Mike, and I started talking, and kind of this idea, because I can't do anything just small, was like, well, instead of one show, let's make a whole network.
Let's
and
do a bunch.
Yeah, let's do a bunch. And so, but it kind of, it's funny now, I was talking to my wife about this, and now that I'm not doing as many business ventures, it still lets me kind of dabble in a lot of different things, because we have a lot of different types of shows and different content. Hosts are all different. And so I still kind of, I think, get to scratch that itch of just the variety of things. And I don't have to start a business or more businesses to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Rogue has been great. I, Baylor degree in film and digital media. And so my background, I always wanted to get into some sort of media or broadcasting. Sports media was really like the thing I loved when I was finishing up school at Baylor. So Rogue Media really gets to touch on all that. So,
oh yeah, no question. So you've seen the way that people consume media in a way different way now.
Way different, Ann.
Yeah,
way different. I think you're the cutting edge of that, right? I mean, you've led the way for when you were on TV, and then you really were the pioneer of getting this over to a platform where I think people were like, when what started 6 years ago, 6 years ago, and in a way where people back then, and it's forever ago, not that long ago, where they just were like really hesitant about this or not. How do I find it? What's the difference between a podcast or radio? Or
people
streaming?
Still say, when does it air? And I go, well,
when does it air?
There's a little bit of a different verbiage we use, but
there's so much of the consumer watching and listening to content later on in the day.
I know.
When they have time.
Whenever you want.
Yes.
You can customize it.
Totally. Yeah. I think we're finally getting to a point where you can go have a conversation with somebody that maybe has only understood TV, radio, and you start talking to them about streaming and podcasting, and they're like, oh yeah. Or I mean, probably more people consume your show, and even just on Facebook reels, and it's just crazy where we're at in 2026, but that's kind of what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I never would have dreamed really that I would be doing what I'm doing now, but I guess in a way when I was still working in television, thinking, well, what might come next? Well,
sure.
And I guess this is the kind of thing I would have envisioned, something that allows me to continue to interview folks and talk to folks and let them tell their story.
Oh, absolutely.
And then I don't know. I have no control over who sees it.
Sure. No, totally. And this is, at the end of the day, it's like you said, it's storytelling. And it's people that have something going on and they want to share about what's happening. And you could look over the years of the best way to tell those stories, but it just changes, but the actual storytelling is the same. I love that you were always wanting, doing Facebook Lives. Like you'd go get in here, and you're so good at the selfie pose, Ann, and you were doing that before a lot of people were doing that. And now it's just folks trying to, I think, catch up to
you. And that's now how reporting is done.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So this has been a fun ride. I know there's a lot more going on and down the road, and all the things will keep growing and just, telling our stories and getting more people involved.
Well, I want to tell everybody, again, the block party is coming up on Saturday, the 9th.
Yep.
And the doors open when?
It'll be 10 a.m.
Okay, in the morning.
Is when Southern Roots will open, when the vendors will start to open, and then 12 is when the actual music will start.
So can they go somewhere and see a list of the bands?
Yeah, if you go to our website, so wacoblockparty.com, or actually wacoblock.party. Sorry, wacoblock.party. You can go to the website. You'll see the full list of all the bands playing. Social media, of course, Instagram, Facebook, all
it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it'll be really fun. But that's where you can see the lineup and the times everybody's coming in on.
Barry, I may have to come to a Facebook Live.
You better be there, Ann.
It's going to be great fun. Again, the address is 219 North 8th Street at Southern Roots. Thank you, Cory.
Thank you, Ann.
Appreciate it. Stay with us. There's more of the show ahead. We'll be talking with Sarah Aynesworth, and her, she is so gifted when it comes to etiquette. She's our own little Miss Manners, and we're going to talk about manners that we don't follow anymore, rules we don't follow anymore. But I do want to tell you this. Are you looking to add a touch of elegance and functionality to your home or business? Look no further than Bumblebee Blinds of Waco and Temple. Their wide range of window treatment can transform any space. They offer free consultations, will work with you to bring your vision to life. Call now and receive 30% off. Call Kayla at 254-844-7939. That's 254-844-7939. Bumblebee Blinds of Waco and Temple. There is more of the show ahead. You stay with us.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Provident. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
For anyone that's in the car buying mode or looking for a car right now or a truck, I would definitely come by Alan Samuels, get to know the people here like I have, how well I'm taking care of the dealership and how well, service and any kind of warranty issues and those sort of things. Because of the way they take care of me, it's made me a Ram driver. And so I don't think they'd want to go anywhere else if they came here.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
If I had somebody that was looking for a car, I would definitely recommend Alan Samuels. The trust that I have, the care that they take, they genuinely want to take care of you. They really ask for your feedback when you go to the support department to make sure they're taking care of you in every way possible. So I really appreciate that they listen to your feedback.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
Welcome back to the show. You know, we've heard all the rules. No elbows on the table, always write a thank you note, and never show up empty-handed. But there's one question: how many of those rules still matter? And more importantly, what does good manners look like today? So joining us is my beloved etiquette expert, Sarah Aynesworth. I love visiting with you. And you're going to help navigate us through some of the changes,
right,
of some of these things. Etiquette expert Peggy Post reminds us manners are simply a sensitive awareness of the feelings of others, which you have said a million times to me.
Yes, yes.
And that idea of kindness and respect and awareness, it does not go out of style, for sure. But today we're going to look at some of the etiquette rules from the past, which may surprise you that it was a thing even, but the things that have changed. And when we were talking before we got started, you said there's just a whole difference between business and social etiquette.
Correct. And, in business now with cultural norms, the rules evolve as we evolve. And I always tell the story of my husband's aunt really wanted to be a veterinarian. And she was told, you can go to the University of Texas and you can choose one of 3 paths. You can be a teacher, you can be a nurse, or you can be a secretary.
But veterinarian was not a choice.
But a veterinarian is not a female profession. And sorry, but you will not be able to do that. That's not a female path.
Uh-huh.
And she always talked about being resentful of that. And then I told one of my sons, this was 10 years ago, I said, John, you would be a great veterinarian. You just love animals. And he looked at me, he said, Mom, that's a girl job.
Oh my goodness.
Which it's not, it is not. But think about the difference.
It has totally flipped.
One generation,
mm-hmm.
Well, 2 generations,
yeah,
how that
probably 2,
script has flipped. And in his mind,
that's funny.
We did have a female vet, but
I know.
And can you imagine telling your granddaughter, Anne, no, you cannot be a veterinarian. That's not a suitable profession for a woman. I mean, you would never tell her that. So that's a prime example, I think, of how, an example of then as women came into the workforce, we're able to be scientists, we're able to be physicians, we're able really to be whatever they wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
The cultural norms of business changed. And in business etiquette, there is no gender difference.
Not at all.
Well, there should not be. For example, the handshake is the only acceptable form of touch in a professional setting.
Yeah.
And that has changed for women, because women, my mother's generation, were taught to give their fingertips.
Mm-hmm.
And they were not taught to shake hands the same way.
Firmly.
Firmly, web to web, 2 pumps, pull back. The woman gave her hand first. It was her fingertip. Years and years ago.
I think I still may do that. I still may do that to a gentleman.
You kiss the hand. Yes,
yeah,
I know.
I still
think about it.
Yeah,
think about it. But that's okay. It does. It really doesn't matter.
Because you can still grab and make it look like a handshake. But I tend to do that. That's funny.
So in handshakes, in business, there are really only.
Well, sure.
There's only the acceptable
if
form,
you're shaking on a deal or something. Yeah,
right. It's just web to web, meaning the web of your hand is this part, and it's 2 pumps, and you shake upon greeting, and then you shake upon leaving. What you do not want to do in a business setting with a handshake is like the glove handshake, where you would put your hand, let's say we're shaking hands and I put my hand over your hand. That would be, especially for a man doing that to a woman,
Oh,
it
yeah.
would be condescending.
Uh-huh. Okay. I see that.
And because he would not shake a man's hand like that. It's a little patronizing, a little pat.
But sometimes I do that.
Well,
if it's a friend,
but you do.
I'll just.
Okay, so Ann, that is where
Okay.
the difference between business and social
All right.
is. So socially, that is more of a handshake for a minister or a condolence or I love you. It's a intimate gesture.
Okay.
Even a politician might do that. Just kind of you've got my vote, or I'll take care of you. But in a business setting, it might be construed as offensive.
Sure. Wow. Okay. All right. So do you think we've lost some manners through all these changes, or are we simply redefining?
I think we've lost a sense of civility in general.
Yeah, you think?
Yes, I think we've definitely lost a sense of civility. I think it's easier. I always tell young college crowds or, younger crowds, high school students, it is easier and easier to set yourself apart these days, to get the job, to receive the scholarship, to be accepted into a program, because it's so rare when someone is truly present. Or, phones have been a great way for you to enhance your success in terms of an interview or a scholarship opportunity or an entrance into a program that you want to be in. I had a young man tell me the other day that he was waiting in waiting room for an employer for an interview, and the employer came in the room and he immediately stood up, and the employer said, "Where's your phone?" And the young man, he was a young man, and he said, "Oh, I didn't think I needed it, so I left it in the car." And he said,
Whoa.
"You are the one candidate for this job that I have come in to talk to today who has now had to get their head out of their phone, wind that up, put it away, and then look at me. You are the first person that I have come into this room to talk to that has been fully present immediately. And I have not even spoken to you, but the fact that you have enough respect for me and enough respect for this job that you are willing to leave your phone in the car, you've got the job."
I love it.
He had not even interviewed yet. So
Yeah.
use the modern
So
technology.
how did he learn that? Who taught him that?
Well, he had actually been to one of my classes, and he said, "Mrs. Aynesworth, I did exactly what you told me." Yes, it was a LEAD. Waco has a wonderful program called LEAD, and it's sponsored. It's for high school students, and it's sponsored through the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
And Rachel Martinez, I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Oh, yes.
Rachel Martinez runs it. And so I do a kind of be your best self workshop.
There are some
with
stellar
LEAD.
young people in that.
There are.
Really
and
sharp.
Then we had maybe he came the second year or something. He said, "Miss Aynesworth, I have to tell you this story. Guess what happened to me?" So,
I love
set
it.
yourself. I mean, what that story ultimately said is he showed honor and respect for the job, for the employer, for the position. And that's, like I always say, Ann, it's, he was self-aware enough to know that cell phone was going to
A distraction.
set him
It would-
distraction.
yeah, right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so maybe it's more about not about memorizing a rule book, but just being aware of people.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Let's start with greetings. Was there a time when men stood when a woman entered the room? So is there a modern version of that? Is that passé?
I think that would be a prime example of the difference between business and social etiquette.
Okay.
And then there are also, different cultural norms even between the North and the South. And so in a business setting, I have a really good friend, and she is a CEO of a big entity in Dallas. And she would not want to be at a meeting with other male CEOs and have them stand up when she leaves the table for a lunch meeting. However, if it were her husband that evening at a restaurant and she was wearing, a dress and she came back to the table, it would be a nice gesture for her husband to pull the chair out and let her sit.
Help seat her.
So it just depends on the timing, the place, the circumstances.
Yeah.
It's never, I always say, I just told a group of young students in Louisiana, college students in Louisiana this last week, I do not know one person who does not like to be treated with respect.
Yeah.
And so, you don't want to step on someone's toes in a business situation. Just because those other men, let's say at our fictitious table with my friend who's the CEO, if she's the only woman and one of the men gets up to leave, the other men wouldn't stand up to help him in his chair. And so, if you want to be treated as an equal in a business setting, I would, it's gender free in terms of rules.
Serving women first when we're talking about a meal in a setting. That was once the standard. The ladies, if you're at a table of 10, and then the ladies would get their meal first. But then, of course, good etiquette would mean you don't pick up your fork until, at least 3 people have been served?
Well,
is that when you can start eating?
On the size of the table, and is it a buffet, or are you served? Or
right. I'm thinking a server.
Okay,
sets the food down in front of the ladies and then the gentleman. But I begin noticing lately at a served dinner like that, a sit-down thing, it's just sort of in order of who's there. So,
and I think a lot of times, Anne, that is a reflection of the sophistication of the waitstaff.
Okay.
Because
you think they should still be serving the ladies first?
I think it's always, it depends. Is it business? Is it social? It wouldn't.
I can't even remember what event it was, but it was something.
It certainly wouldn't hurt, especially if it's social, to serve.
Yeah. Oh, I know it was a Texas Sports Hall of Fame induction banquet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And they were just kind of serving people. They were trying to serve like 800 people. So they were,
and it was
I give a lot of
dinner.
grace. They just want to get it out as fast as they
right.
can.
And in a situation like that, I could see where that would be, fine. If it was a small seated dinner, I think, and a really nice restaurant that you're paying a lot of money for beautiful service, and that's part of the experience, I would think they would serve the women first.
Paying for meals.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
Okay. So has that shifted as well?
I think that...
we've both been out of the dating scene for a long time.
Right, exactly.
Thankfully.
Yes, thankfully.
Oh, wouldn't you hate to be?
Yes, I know.
Oh, no.
I mean, I do think there's
a
little more equality in that, but I also think, especially in the southern part of the United States and in other, parts of the world where there is still the idea of a gentleman courting, the gentleman taking not care, but just being generous and kind. And if I were dating now, I would occasionally, if I were a young woman, I would occasionally say, no, you've paid for everything. Let me pay for it this time.
Let me do, or let's go Dutch, or
let's go Dutch, right? But if it were a really nice dinner, I would expect the man to pay in a social setting. Again, not in a business related setting.
Okay, so same idea with holding the door.
In fact, one of my sons, he was holding the door for a woman in Fort Worth, and he was a student at TCU, and he held the door open for her, and she looked at him and she said, "Thank you so much for holding the door." She said, Are you a student at TCU?" And he said, "Oh, yes." And she said, well, here's my card. I would love to, you pay attention to detail. I would love to give you an internship if you need one. I work for, so you never know. We're just holding the door. Can open a door, literally. And I think opening a door, again, if it's social and, your husband or your significant other, and they want to walk in front of you and hold the door open and you would walk through, that is lovely and very, acceptable. At the same time, if you are a woman and you see some man struggling to walk in something, you can hold that door open for him too. Depends on the setting.
Yeah.
But I think what goes back to it, the basis of everything is just kindness and thoughtfulness.
Right.
And just
and,
like Peggy
and being a
Post
servant,
said.
kind of have that servant motivation. So much more. We've just barely scratched the surface, Sarah, on this, but we do need to take a break. I want to tell you that today's show is brought to you by Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram, your friend in the car business. There is more of the show ahead.
The Riesel Fair is back and bigger than ever. Bring the whole family for a day packed with fun. From thrilling rides, delicious food, local vendors, and live music Friday night. Saturday music begins at 2 p.m. Admission is $5 for adults, 2 to 12 years, $3. 2 and under are free. Mark your calendar and join us for the Riesel Fair, May 7th through 9th. The Riesel Fair, where memories are waiting just for you.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
For anyone that's in the car buying mode or looking for a car right now or a truck, I would definitely come by Allen Samuels, get to know the people here like I have, how well I'm taking care of the dealership and how well, service and any kind of warranty issues or those sort of things. Because of the way they take care of me, it's made me a Ram driver. I said I don't think they'd want to go anywhere else if they came here.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
And we are back with Sarah Aynesworth talking about etiquette. We're talking about some of the changes in the rules, if you will, of etiquette, how they've kind of morphed over the years. And there might be some outdated rules that surprise you. And some of the older rules seem a little bit shocking, like waiting for a woman to offer her hand first.
That's definitely outdated.
That's definitely out. Wedding etiquette, we could, a lot of those things, like matching the cost of your meal or having a year to send a gift to a
With
couple.
a present.
I can imagine that.
I know. I try to check that off my list.
Yeah.
Early.
Formal language like dear sir or madam.
I think that's becoming antiquated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
It depends on the setting. It completely just, I mean, if you're in France,
Right. Yeah.
madame,
Yeah.
But I do say anytime you, even in an email, I tell students this a lot, and a lot of college students and graduate school students, anytime you're starting a correspondence, even if it's in technology, even if it's via email, start out with erring on formality.
Mm-hmm.
It will become less formal as the exchange goes back and forth.
Sure.
But I have had Baylor professors say, Sarah, could you please tell the students to not send an email that says, hey, I missed class today. What did I miss? And their name. He said, and I've had more than one professor tell me this.
I'll bet.
I have no idea what section they were in. I have no idea their, last name, because sometimes they just put their first name.
Like he's supposed to know, or she's supposed to know
exactly,
who that student is. And
right. And I've even had
well, of course, it might be on their email. If you look at their email address,
That's true.
That would have their name,
but you don't want a professor or a teacher, even in high school, to have to look you up and research and spend more time.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were emailing a professor, I would say, dear Professor
Dr.
so-and-so.
So-and-so,
Dear Dr. So-and-so, out of respect.
Yes.
First of all, just out of respect.
Yeah, they got that PhD.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Right. For their position, their hard work, their control over my grade.
For sure.
Yeah. So, dear Dr. Harder, my name is Sarah Aynesworth. I am in your Tuesday, Thursday, 9:30 to 11 class. I missed class today due to an unforeseen. Anyway, so, but
anyway,
that on that
reminds me of advice my dad, who taught economics at Baylor. He said, with every one of your professors, of course, now, some of the classes, the sections may be so big, but he said, make the effort to go and visit with your professor personally, so that then they kind of know who you are.
Yes.
Just a simple thing, but can pay off in the wrong.
And communication, just the communication skills are so important, and they have changed. I'll tell you, Anne, something that has really changed. Do you care if I tell you the story?
Go.
I was teaching and I was doing a business etiquette dining class in Houston for Central Market, and I had a woman there, and I was talking about a follow-up thank you note for an interview. And she came up to me afterwards and she said, I have to tell you, Sarah, she said, I was in the position to hire someone a couple of months ago, and I had 3 candidates that had interviewed, and I had one favorite. And I heard from 2 of the candidates via email the next day. And I knew they were interested. They expressed interest. They thanked me for my time. It was a quick email, but it was expedited beautifully. Prompt, exactly. She said, I gave my favorite candidate a week waiting to hear from this person. And she said, I kept never hearing. So finally, the following Monday, I thought, I've got to, I can't keep waiting for my favorite to reply.
I need
back
to make a
me.
decision on this job. Yeah.
Right. And these 2 people have shown attention to detail, taken the effort, because people want to hire you if you are going to represent them well. She said, I gave the job to one of the 2 candidates that I had heard from via email. She said, on Tuesday, I got to my desk and there was a handwritten note addressed to me from my favorite candidate.
Who
How I
it gotten lost in the mail.
Right. Right.
Oh.
And so many times, especially with big companies, you know, there's a mail room or the, mail service was delayed or something. So always,
too bad.
where we used to it was just standard that you wrote a thank you note, a handwritten thank you note, and how important that was. I think especially in an interview setting, send an email the next day. And you can write a thank you note
write
as
the
well.
thank you note.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Say
as
again,
well.
thank you for your time.
Right.
Wish you had picked me for the job, or
Right,
whatever.
exactly,
Because I
exactly.
may not get it for 2 weeks,
But that's a prime example of modern manners.
yes, yeah, for sure. For parents, what should they be teaching their kids?
Just like Peggy Post said in your
Yeah, let's
introduction,
talk about Peggy
a
Post.
constant awareness of
Yeah.
the feelings of
So
other people.
You went to a seminar. You went to that school. I guess.
did. So it was so much fun. And if anyone that's listening is interested in doing a etiquette training or wants to do this, in their community, the Post Institute started after the Post. So Emily Post was a woman. She was, it was early 20s, and her husband was a stockbroker, and he had an affair.
What?
And at this time, the tabloids would call the wives and say, "We are going to publish that your husband had an affair." And if you do not want this,
Of course, nowadays they're seen on jumbotrons.
yeah, exactly. So they said, if you don't want, this was how the tabloids made a lot of extra money, because if you did not want it published, you could pay the tabloid to not have it published. Well, Emily Post, she must have been just very feisty and very confident. She said, "Oh, go ahead and publish it. I'm gonna divorce him," which was very taboo at the time. So that's a prime example of how things have changed. So she was this very modern woman, ahead of her time. She said, "Oh, go ahead and publish it. Let's embarrass him, and I will leave him." She had 2 sons, and so just kind of to make extra money, she started writing really hilarious romance novels. She was from a wealthy family, and so the publisher
Was it under a pseudonym, or was it Emily Post?
I don't know. I don't know the
Okay.
answer to that story. Anyway, but someone in the publishing world knew that she was a good writer and that she was funny and she had a great sense of humor. And there was this, after the Industrial Revolution, there were all these people coming to the city, rural people, and they suddenly had dining rooms in their homes, and they needed to know what to do with silverware and place settings and how to entertain. And there was just, this burgeoning wealth. So they called her and they said, "Mrs. Post, would you be willing to write a book on etiquette?" And she said, "Oh, no, the whole subject could be reduced down to 1 or 2 sentences." And she hung up on them. And so they kept calling her back. Finally, she said, okay, I'll do it. So that was the first edition of the Emily Post etiquette book.
I've got a copy of it, and I always think I'm going to bring it when we're going to talk, and I
Yes,
forget to bring
I'd love
it.
to see it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
So who's Peggy
So the
Post?
family took a Gallup poll in the, I don't know when they took a Gallup poll. So Emily Post is deceased. The family doesn't know. I think Peggy Post is the one that kept writing because they would keep updating the book to.
Right.
But
Times change.
Times change,
Yeah.
right, to keep it modern. And they finally thought, is this what we really, are we going to keep doing this? So they did a Gallup poll of how well known the name Emily Post was. And she was just as well known as Aunt Jemima.
Yeah.
And so
I guess schools were teaching her book, using it as a textbook, maybe?
Well, I don't know, but and so the family thought, you know what, we are remiss in just letting this, we keep doing these editions, the 2000, Emily Post Etiquette 2000 edition, and so they decided to really bring modern manners back into the forefront. So they started offering training classes. They do corporate, they do children's etiquette classes, where you can do a train the trainer.
So then you can go and do the
Right.
teaching.
And so I did take the class, and it is with the Post family, and they are
And where's this located, in D.C.? No, that was something else you did.
That was at
Washington.
the Protocol School of Washington. It's in Vermont. Their headquarters are in Vermont. So, but they are
fun,
really lovely people, and they're very, they are not holding on to the shore in terms of old-fashioned manners. They are,
right. They are
evolving,
moving with the times. Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
So, what would you say, Sarah, is the biggest etiquette myth?
That it is stuffy or elitist. I think that is the biggest etiquette myth in terms of perception, and that really it's just all about making people feel comfortable and a constant awareness of the feelings of others, just like Emily Post said 100 years ago. And
yeah, that hasn't changed.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, that has not changed. Isn't that beautiful? That's the essence of it.
What is one thing that people worry about that they maybe shouldn't worry so much about?
Maybe just an insecurity of knowing, oh, is this the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do? All you have to do is ask yourself, is this the most respectful, honorable way to treat this person? Is this the high road?
Right.
Is this kind?
Well, I think about Vice President Vance's book, Hillbilly Elegy, and how when he was a law student and he was not brought up, around fancy dinner parties and stuff, and he was calling his girlfriend Usha, to give him advice on what fork to use.
Right, right. If you are ever in a situation, and I always tell any class, like just last week in Louisiana, I said, every one of you in this room need to throw your shoulders back and know that you can walk in to anywhere and feel equal, because you know exactly what to do, when, and where. And it's not about elitism. It's just about your confidence,
which is worth
it's
everything.
Like,
yeah,
right, exactly.
Yeah. So what is one habit that really impresses you that people have?
Just an attention to kindness.
Yeah.
Just being thoughtful and listening. I think listening was one of the greatest skills that you can, and being, at this point in time, being present.
Do you have a pet peeve? And we did, back when I was still at the TV station, we did a whole segment. And that was hilarious. I had the viewers, let me know what some of theirs
were. Right.
Was
that's right. We should
chewing gum was a big one.
Chewing gum, yes.
Yeah.
I would say one pet peeve I have, and this is just my personal pet peeve, is when someone leaves the table and they leave their chair. They don't push their chair in.
Because then other people could stumble over it if it's
right.
a banquet
and really,
setting.
That just goes back to, first of all, it just looks cleaner. But the primary reason is people don't, a waiter isn't tripping into the chair. It's just respectful to everyone in that in that space.
To just do that one little thing. One word, again, that you think defines good manners.
Kindness. And a sentence is a constant awareness of the feelings of others.
Yeah. Oh, well, this conversation is an important reminder about how others perceive us, which is really what a lot of people worry about, or is anyone going to like me, But so that's always kind of there. But it's more than that. It's putting others first. It's kind of the golden rule for sure of doing unto others.
And having, I teach every year in Washington, D.C., and I met with a young woman that I was working with. And I said, what was the one thing in our time together during that evening, we did a dining tutorial, that you really took away? And she said, well, besides all the, rules of the table. And she said, like you said, they're all, if there's a reason for every rule, or else this is all unreasonable. But she said, actually, Sarah, one of my biggest takeaways was that having nice manners does not mean you're a doormat. So it's just as much respect for yourself as it is for the other person. And not in a self-absorbed, selfish way, but, you know, for example, the standing up would be just as much out of respect for myself as it would be for the person that I'm meeting.
Yeah. Well, it's always fun to visit with you about these things because we do kind of think about them. And man, in this fast-paced world, there are so many changes to things that are acceptable. But just going that extra mile of kindness, of a word, of a note, you know, is just going to be worth so much. And as you've given illustrations of today, it can mean a job, it can mean an internship, all kinds of things.
It could change your life.
Could change the trajectory of your life if you hold that door open.
Right, exactly. Or leave your phone in the car when you have an interview.
Leave that stinking phone in the car.
It's just, I mean, it's really getting easier to set yourself apart in terms of being chosen for whatever it is that you are interviewing for or applying for, or, you know, doing.
Well, you know, all the phone does when you've got it at the dinner table or wherever is that this is more important than the people I'm with right now. And so,
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, always a delight. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank
What shall
you.
we talk about next time?
Well, whatever you want.
I don't know. We've had a tea party. We've had all kinds of fun. We'll think of something.
We could do wedding guest, wedding host.
Yeah,
We've done that before, but
there's
I
a lot.
still think there's some
Probably
good reminders.
the Emily Post etiquette book got the most sales from brides, you know, because there are kind of a lot of rules.
There are,
when it
and
comes
there's a
to
protocol.
weddings.
And so
yeah, I guess there's a difference between
and the difference
protocol.
between, we could do protocol versus etiquette because they are two very different things. So a protocol officer for any organization just ensures that you are creating the least distracting environment.
Really?
And so that's what a protocol officer does.
Okay.
And we could talk about what creates the least distracting environment.
Yeah. Of course, I'm thinking the protocol expert at Buckingham Palace. That's a whole nother layer. Layer of things of what you do with royalty. And, you know, anyway.
Or for the White House. Because
well, even our own kind of royalty. But
But I do think that, you know, knowing it, manners and the knowing how to act in any situation creates a definite equality. The manners are the great equalizer.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you're our expert and spend some time with me. I appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you too.
Thank you. Sarah Aynesworth.
Give me a forum to talk about my favorite subject.
Your favorite. And so they can find you where? Give them your...
I am online, and it's sarahaynesworth.com. So you can do that. I have an Instagram account, but I have kind of let that wane because I just wasn't. I just was feeling pressure on that, coming up with something every week.
Oh, yeah. But I enjoyed seeing them.
I know. Maybe I should start doing it again.
No, I think people, it's a very good learning tool as well. So good. All right.
Okay.
So stay tuned, as they say in the TV business. We will be back, and we will we'll talk about weddings.
Better.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay with us, though. There is more of the Ann Harder Show ahead.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Provident. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
I had a panic moment running my hands through my hair, and that's when I found Keeps. Keeps gave me the results that I was really looking for.
I definitely felt a lot more confident once I saw my hair coming back.
Keeps has given me the control of my hair back.
Get your first month free at Keeps.com.
This is a Rogue Media Network production.